Fairly Odd Parents or The Fairly Odd Parents?
I think it's Fairly.
No, I'm pretty sure it's The Fairly Odd Parents.
In the
Fairly
guides,
Odd
they
Parents.
say The Fairly Odd
Okay.
Parents.
The theme song just omits the, but I do think the
Yeah.
title is the.
Is it Wonder Years or The Wonder Years? This fucking sucks. Well, let's
It's
do a
The
different
Wonder.
topic.
Should be the.
It is the. Is it Doug or The Doug?
Welcome to Bracket, the only show where we take a bunch of shit, face off against a bunch of other shit to see what the best shit really is. I'm your host, Cullen Jennings, and joining me today is John Abbott.
Hey, it's John. Let's get ready to rumble.
All right, and don't
Sorry.
forget about Jesse Knowles.
Hey, I'm Michael Douglas, and have you seen my work in Wall Street?
All right, and Emmy-nominated creator of The Big Heads, Greg L. Mercer.
Hey guys, Wacky Deli.
Wacky Dilly, yeah.
Wow. And joining us today is special friend of the show, Dan McKinney.
We can't monetize this video now.
We're gonna be flagged. We're gonna get flagged on YouTube now. We can't.
Well,
We're gonna be.
Got me.
That's it. We're gonna be taken down off of YouTube.
What if he only talks in Down with the Sickness clips?
he only uses like Disturbed lyrics for the
Yeah.
entire show. I could be. Hi, Dan McKinney.
Don't do it.
Say hello to the nice people, Daniel.
Swear to God, I'm gonna fucking kill him. No, cancel it. We're doing a new episode. I'm not putting this in.
Holy
I thought of that like a week ago.
I fucking hate this guy.
It took you
Stop.
real. Okay, well.
Oh, you've never had anything. Don't. Oh, that was good. Oh, well, in that case, guys, we're going to do the 16 best television neighbors.
Can't you tell?
So, yeah, we're all on it this week from everyone's comments. So,
When you're here, your family.
wait, is this one did someone think of this one?
Are we doing
Yeah.
16 best rural dining establishments?
Yeah.
It was thought of by Robert Zavala, who submitted it on the bracketpodcast.com topic submission page.
Sure, was Michael Zavala?
Robert
Robert
Zavala.
Zavala.
Robert Zavala's brother.
Cullen.
Yeah.
Just go to oh shit, I never came up with a link for it on page. I was gonna say just go to place, but I got
Well, just go to bracketpodcast.com and we'll have a link up in the nav bar.
let's hope so.
There you go. All right. So, TV Neighbor, round one, Group A. Steve Urkel versus Oscar Kakashka.
Correct.
We got in Group B, we have the Susanusophones versus Cosmo Kramer. We got Group C, Mr. Feeney versus the others. And Group D, we have Chandler and Joey versus Squidward Tentacles. In Group E, we have Oscar the Grouch versus Carl Bertana Nadalewski. In Group F, we have The Rolls versus Mr. Rogers. And in Group G, we have Ned Flanders versus Kimmy Gibbler. And in Group H, we have the Big Heads versus Wilson. So, in round one in Group A, Steve Urkel versus Oscar Kakashka. Take a stab at it, anybody? Anybody?
You're not even paying attention today, are you, Colin?
I am. The test pretty much drained me, and
I'm sorry, buddy.
yeah, I am. I'm in a
Do you
zone.
need a minute? Do you want to
So-
take a nap? Reschedule this?
Nope. Let's just kick its ass. Oscar Kakashka sucks because he's on Hey Arnold. Steve Urkel was a robot. Boom. Done.
Was he a robot?
He built a robot of himself to help him with
Okay,
his
so
science
he was not.
experiments.
So he was not a
Yeah,
robot.
he built a robot named Robo Urkel, I think is what it was called.
Robert?
Yeah, well, Oscar Kakashka learned how to read.
Yeah, dude.
He
did.
learned how to pet the kitty.
He learned how to read. He learned how to not be greedy.
Yeah.
He said, you keep the money.
Yeah, Colin.
Which is
when
a
has
better-
Urkel ever
You
Which-
said
tell
that?
me if you're
you-
going to tell me that
you keep
that
the
he
money.
went through a bigger arc than Steve Urkel did
He
in like 10
absolutely
years.
did.
You
That's
keep the
100%
money.
true.
You keep the money is a better catchphrase, if you will, than did I do that?
You are a goddamn fool.
Guess the
Oscar-
fuck what, Urkel? Of course you did that.
No, it's you know what? You're fucking wrong.
Look,
It is worth pointing out that Steve Urkel started out as like a side character on an episode or two, and was so popular that he became a main character of Family Matters. He like kind of redefined the show by himself.
Him and Carl became the two main characters.
But he's like a punching bag.
Not necessarily. You guys obviously have never watched
Oscar
any-
Kokoschka is a punching bag too.
Yeah,
though.
it's tough being Oscar Kokoschka.
You don't feel bad for Steve Urkel. You don't relate to Steve Urkel. You feel bad and relate to Oscar Kokoschka.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I'm actually going to go with Cullen for Urkel because, in all honesty, even though Oscar does have like an episode, maybe two, that endear you to him, actually having to live with that guy in your building every day would suck. Like,
yeah,
I'd
and you're
Steve-
saying it would be great with Steve
Well,
Urkel?
The
Sure,
thing is, with Steve Urkel, you could lock your door. That's what Carl did, and then he'd be gone an entire episode. He'd be gone.
you could blow off Urkel. The Kokoschkas, you hear them fighting all day, every day.
Yeah, but you know what? The Kokoschkas, they're living the American dream.
Then you
Yep.
guys have never seen Steve Urkel, his sexy suave person.
Do you mean Stefan Urkel?
or
Cullen?
Stefan Urkel? Sorry.
Who the
Doesn't
fuck
even know.
watches
I'm reading-
Family
look,
Matters? Is it me or
There's-
you?
Obviously not you, because you're trying to vote for Oscar Kokoschka. So
I'm an
like,
Oscar
I don't-
Kokoschka vote.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I will say, Steve Urkel got hot. He got fit. He got right.
He was always hot.
Yeah, he was Sonic the Hedgehog.
He was Sonic the Hedgehog!
Yeah.
He was Sonic the Hedgehog.
He was
Yeah.
Sonic the
Yeah,
Hedgehog.
he was Sonic the
He
Hedgehog, yeah.
loves
Got- Sonic the
chili.
Hedgehog.
Got a speed, kid.
Man.
I'm an Oscar Kokoschka vote.
Jesse,
I'm with-
it's down to you.
Cullen, I'm with you. It's Urkel.
It's
I don't want to be one of those like 90s kids, but like I legitimately loved Hey Arnold. I'm gonna be an Oscar vote.
Yeah.
There we go.
in a first round upset. Oscar Kokoschka knocks out Steve Urkel.
Is that an upset?
Yeah.
An upset in the real world. 3-2. We have the Susanufophones versus
I
Cosmo
believe-
Kramer.
I'm just going to put it out there once. You did fine. It's Supanusa. Right.
Then why is there a
But
P and H beside each other?
All that said, though, Cullen, you did very well with
So-
multiple bad names that are in
Yeah.
this list.
Here's the thing, though. You said Supha. It's a PH, man, and that's a F.
It's SOUP.
Well, it's not an English name. So it
No,
doesn't-
I know that. I know that.
You know, Oscar Kokoschka can't read either.
It's true, Colin.
Well, he's
Okay, so this is the family from King of the Hill.
The
Next door neighbors.
Laotian.
Laotian.
Khan, I do not remember the wife's name.
Min.
Min and Connie, their daughter.
Khan Jr.
Right.
Khan Jr.
They're fun.
They're fantastic. And in a weird way, they actually moved the entire series like forward with Connie,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting because that's what 12 years that show was on, something like that. So, but to that other side,
Connie, best friend of Bobby. Hank and Khan kind of have like Khan's kind of like a villain. Like I'd say more than half the time in the series. Like,
yeah, but they always work it out because he's a good, outstanding gentleman, and but Cosmo Kramer loves running in that door.
Yeah,
I saw it happen today.
we hit our Supanusaphone like quota, right? Like we can just say Kramer now and move on.
I would rather probably have Khan and Min as a neighbor.
Yeah, because if Kramer is your neighbor, that you're miserable. He's coming in and taking all your food at all times, not asking. Like
he's trying to
That is
get
true.
you. He's violating fire code.
he's like,
every
"Can
day."
I borrow your car for the weekend? I gotta like move some golf clubs with Newman."
But here's the thing: he is funny as fuck.
Yeah,
And
but
he
not
brings
intentionally.
Newman into your life.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. He brings Newman. That pushes me hard into Supanusaphone territory.
What's the name of the Supanusaphone's dog?
David. Oh, they do have
Yeah.
a dog.
Fuck,
It's
it's a
a-
little
Isn't it
white.
named, like-
Yeah.
Isn't it just named like Doggy?
I don't know.
I think that's what Khan calls it. Oh man, I can't remember it all. This is going to drive me crazy.
I'm looking it up.
Cosmo Kramer, entrepreneur, along with George Costanza's dad, invents the Manzier or the Bro, however you want to look at it.
Kramer is a loathsome, offensive brute, and you cannot look away.
Khan's full name is Kong Koi Khan, which literally means I am Khan in Laotian.
This show is still bringing gems.
I'll lock it as a con vote. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Khan's very skilled in martial arts.
I'm a Kramer vote.
Yeah, Yeah, I would not enjoy living next to Kramer. I mean, like, he turns his apartment into like a smoking club at one point. Like,
he brings in the set from a talk show at one point.
He
takes a nap in a hot tub. It's chaos living next to Kramer. But like, I don't know. I can't vote against him. We talk about Seinfeld a lot in this show, and it's not very often we get to bring something from that into the bracket very far. I'm gonna go Kramer.
Isn't it nice to have somebody in your life that you can point to and be like, well, at least I'm not the problem?
Yeah. Whereas I think I would feel like I am the problem next to Khan's house. Like I'm never gonna get my lawn looking as good as he wants it to look next to his home. Like
Khan owns a boat called the Laotian in Motion.
Oh, this King of the Hill wiki is killing me.
I'm dying over here, y'all. Y'all go ahead and do the bracket without me. I got King of the Hill wiki over here.
I think it makes the most sense. I'm a big Khan fan. I'm a huge King of the Hill fan, but I also really like Cosmo Kramer. I'm gonna lean over to the Kramer side here.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll vote Khan, but Kramer wins.
I do love Khan. So Cosmo Kramer knocks out Khan and the whole family. 3-2. We have Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World versus the others from Lost.
Okay, so I know this seems immediately like a Feeney win. Let me tell you why it's not.
Oh, no. Time out real quick before you go that far. I assumed this was going to be a 4-1 vote, that you guys were all going to vote the others immediately. So.
No. Dan is definitely going Mr. Feeney. I think I might be able to sway John. Jesse's still up in the air. Let me tell you why the others are the best neighbors.
I will tell you
could
how
have.
much I'm up in the air. I have not seen either of these shows.
What? Disgusting.
I
Jesse.
know.
God
Jesse,
damn it.
you're not a citizen of the planet Earth anymore.
We're gonna have to do something about you, brother.
Hey, look, I've got plenty of time on my hands to watch shows. I'll watch something. I'll watch a TV show once.
Jesse, let me tell you about Mr. Feeney. All right, he is.
First of all, Feeney. That's all you need to know.
That's a
That's a
classic.
strong
that's a classic
argument,
joke.
John.
That's a classic.
Oh, my
joke
goodness.
on the show Boy Meets World.
Does
Here's
Boy
the-
ever meet the world?
Yes, that's how the show ends. He meets the world. The crazy thing about Mr. Feeney is that, like, it is the most blatant, like, the people who made the show just liked him so much that they kept coming up with excuses for, like, how, because Mr. Feeney is the title character, Corey? Yeah, Corey's teacher in elementary school, middle school. I'm not clear on, like, what the grade level
every
is.
school.
Every school. They
Right,
he just
where-
went to school.
But
Yeah.
and then in like the early part of the show, it's revealed that guess what? He's also his neighbor. Whoa, which is like, but then like he goes off like and everyone goes off to college, and they make Mr. Feeney a professor at the college they all go to.
It's
Like
fantastic. Feeney is the best character on Boy Meets World. Absolutely the best. He has a deadpan, like fantastic lines. He has the best jokes in the whole friggin' show.
He is the best character that's not Sean Hunter. Yes.
by the end of the show,
The only thing I have ever seen of Boy Meets World is there was a Halloween episode of some sort, and they were
You saw the
they
one where everybody died.
Yes.
anyway, Mr. Feeney finds love by the end of the show.
Does.
That's a really novel concept.
Mr. Feeney's the last character you see in the show. He has the last line. Class
But
dismissed.
now we're all babbling about Feeney. What you got, Greg?
Them
Okay,
others.
so you are a rando who's flying from Australia to
mothers.
LA, right? And
Yes.
your plane goes down. You're panicking. You crash in the middle of nowhere. You land on an island. You don't know what's going on. There's all these other people. A guy gets sucked into a jet engine. Oh shit, we could die at any moment. There's a giant monster in the woods. This is horrible. What is going on? How do we get our food? What is going on here? Then all of a sudden, there's another group of people.
Oh, also, let me add on to that, Greg. Crazy thing about the others is that there's two sets of others.
Exactly.
So first of all, you have the others that are perceived
I-
to be the original threat. Turns out they're the people who are on the plane with you on the flight, and they got separated in the crash.
So that's the
Y'all are
tailies. Is
fucking
that
up.
what we're talking about?
That's the tailies.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the Hanzo Initiative dudes who have been there since the 70s, of which Benjamin
Dharma.
Linus is a group. Yeah, the
you
Dharma
guys
on
are
this shit.
seriously messing this up.
Dan, get
okay,
out of my
let me-
office.
Oh, right away, immediately, you find out these. It takes like 24 episodes for season 1 to finish, and they don't even introduce the others till like halfway through season 2. Okay,
Not true.
The tailies,
Absolutely not true.
the
Not
tailies
true.
don't come in till like the end of season 2. Maybe
Not
season
true at
3.
all. I just rewatched it all a few months ago. Season 2 kicks off with the tailies.
Yeah.
And big conflict early in season 1 is John Locke coming out of the woods saying, there's other people out here and we all know it.
Stay tuned for Lost Talk after bracket.
Honestly, I was kind of a Feeney vote, but now I'm others.
Them others.
I'm absolutely a Feeney vote. I'm sorry if you really think the better neighbors is the others.
You're
than
on a
Mr.
goddamn
Feeney.
desert
Hang
island,
on,
and all
hang
of a
on.
sudden there's
I'm
people with
stuck.
food and
If
hamburgers.
Mr. Feeney, all right, so if you're on a desert island and Mr. Feeney comes out, I'd much rather have Mr. Feeney.
What's
think
gonna
I'm
happen? You're gonna have to kill and eat him because that's all there is left. If the
I
others
still-
are there, then you can get off the island. Boom, problem solved.
It took like
I'm
72
kind of
years.
stuck here. I'm stuck on John's them others right now. I keep picturing a bunch of mothers on an island instead of
Them
the others.
others.
The mothers. Them others.
The mothers.
Listen, Greg, we both made a good attempt here. I love Lost. I think actually, I don't know. I think you drop off on Lost. I think all of it's good. But I'm gonna vote Mr. Feeney.
I still am not sure if Feeney's the smoke monster or not. Thank you. I'll take my leave now. Goodbye. Taking out my headphones. You guys.
Is that your
have a good
idea
one.
for a Teespring shirt or whatever?
Next shirt of the month club. I'm a Feeney vote.
Yeah, Feeney vote, guys. Sorry, there's not
Jesse?
a chance.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Feeney already won,
is-
Jesse.
Is Boy Meets World on Netflix?
I don't know.
No, I
No.
don't think it is.
I'm
What a shame.
another's vote because I can actually watch that right now.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, Mr. Feeney knocks out the others 3-2. We got Chandler and Joey versus Squidward Tentacles.
Squidward tentacles. That's my vote.
Yeah, I strongly dislike Friends.
I want to know why.
It's a bad show.
Dan,
me
do
why.
you and
It's-
me,
it's a-
Dan, or me and you going Chandler and Joey? We'll leave it up to Colin.
Friends is a less funny Seinfeld.
I want to hear. Before we move on to the next. I want to hear why Friends sucks.
It's a less funny Seinfeld. Boom.
This is coming from people that probably enjoy fucking the shitty show that just ended.
Oh yeah, the shitty show.
the fucking the one that's exactly the same base off of Friends. How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, I think the
I think How I
beginning
Met Your
of
Mother
that
sucks
show
too.
is okay, but gets real bad real fast. So watch what you're saying.
Y'all don't
That's
know
fair.
what the fuck you're talking about. Greg, I'm 100% a Chandler and Joey vote with you.
Colin, it's down to you.
There is not a chance. Sorry, Squidward, but Chandler and Joey fucking rule.
Oh my fucking god!
Let me give you a little bit of an argument to consider.
You're gonna have to try really hard.
Imagine how much can you empathize with Squidward now that you look back and imagine having to live between SpongeBob and Patrick.
Now, to be
How-
fair,
He
did
just
try
wants
to
to
move.
practice his clarinet.
How much did you feel for Squidward in the Band Geeks episode at the end when he gets to play his concert?
Let me tell you this real quick. Squidward, without those two, is still a dick. Chandler and Joey would be fun as fuck to live next to.
He's
Sorry,
right.
Chandler and Joey get a vote right there. Sorry, guys.
It's locked
Friends,
in.
Friends sucks.
Chandler and
Oh,
Joey
my
knock
God.
out Squidward Tentacles 3-2. We got Oscar the Grouch versus Carl Bertanananowski.
Kind of the same guy.
Well, one of them, they both work out of the home.
Which is a trash can.
Oscar lives in a trash can, and it would still suck more to be Carl.
Yeah. Carl lives in New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is also a trash can.
Which is
Well,
a
isn't there
living
like
trash.
a whole world in Oscar's garbage? Because
In theory,
this is a
yeah.
movie, right, where Elmo
Yeah.
goes to Grouchland and Grouchland is just inside the trash can.
What the
Grouchland
fuck are
is-
you saying?
No, he's right. Elmo and Grouchland, you go inside of the trash can, and it's like this whole. It's a really great movie. So it's definitely better than the last Muppets movie. Shots
Oh, yeah,
fired.
It's got like 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's really good.
I don't know
But-
if that was a dig at Rotten Tomatoes or Sesame Street or
That
what.
was a
I don't
dig at-
know.
what are you guys doing watching the Sesame Street movie?
It was years ago. It was great.
I love Jim Henson.
Yeah, sorry. But
Nothing wrong with
Carl
Jim Henson.
Bertana.
Hold on. I got it right here. While appearing to be the size of a normal trash can, Oscar's residence is actually bigger on the inside than the exterior would suggest. Notably revealed in the film The Adventures of Elmo and Groucho. Southland. There you go.
Greg, when did that movie come out? What year?
I don't fuck you, Dan.
No, look at what year that movie came out. Because I want to figure out how
99.
goddamn 99?
Yeah.
So Cullen was like 24.
Yes.
And he's watching this
at
movie.
least.
Correct.
I was like, I was at
Colin
42.
was 58.
we were all doing it up Big Willie style, and sometimes you got to watch Sesame Street movies when you're doing it up Big Willie style.
That was the year of Tickle Me Elmo, Dan, which I know you're too young to remember, but it was a fucking national craze.
So there's the other night I was watching Adult Swim, and the 2 episodes back to back were the episode where the Aqua Teen Hunger Force group guys decide to leave and they move, but they only move next door to Carl.
But
so they
the
set this
other
whole
side of his house.
Yeah, to the other side of his house. They burn down the whole house. Or no, the Rabot destroys their house. So they have to go back to the house, and Carl is just very happy about it.
Carl has a pool,
Carl got almost a full season to
It's got
himself.
an above ground pool.
Yes.
above ground pool.
I'm an Oscar vote, guys. It would suck so much to live next to Carl.
I don't
No,
think
that's the
so.
thing.
I think
No.
it's the other way around.
Yeah, it sucks to be Carl. He has the worst neighbors. Carl just wants to be left alone and
He's
do.
still a scummy guy.
Yeah, but he does
is,
it
but
all
he stays
inside.
to himself. He does,
Like,
he does
he would not-
Yeah.
He would not bother you. You're walking down the street and Oscar the Grouch's going to come out of his cave and say, "Hey, what a terrible day."
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, Oscar. Yeah, it is.
Carl has some good days.
Let me ask you this: if you had the choice between cuddling with Oscar the Grouch or Carl, who would
Ew.
you choose?
Stop. This is
No,
not about. You
no.
don't cuddle your neighbor.
I won't go near either of them.
Yeah.
Do not cuddle your neighbor.
You don't
One
have good
smells
neighbors.
like trash and the other is trash. So like I'm still at Carl, but I don't know how this is even really sure I get the Oscar thing, but it's Carl.
I'm an
It's
Oscar
easy,
vote.
Carl. You're a fool.
Carl's better on a guitar than Oscar. I can guarantee you that.
You-
Widdly
you
wah,
cannot guarantee
Widdly,
that.
widdly, wah.
Oh, well, if you saw Oscar
He
and
wrote
Elmo
a
go to
song
Grouchland,
called Carl wrote a song called "I Want to Rock Your Body" in parentheses till the break of dawn. So
This is a sad state of affairs.
Where are votes, John?
has everyone? I actually am like really on the fence. I just
Dan?
yeah, no, let's lock this in right now. I'm an Oscar the Grouch vote. I
There it
hate
is.
cartoons. Cartoons are the worst.
baby stuff, I'm Dan. Fuck
Dan.
off, Dan.
I will
Jim
give
Henson's
Carl.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I would watch the hell out of that.
Who's Justin
Actually,
Roiland?
never mind.
John?
All right, so
I will give Carl a vote, but yeah,
this is a horse shit.
I tried.
Oscar the Grouch knocks out Carl Batananowski 3-2. We
Fuck
have
cartoons.
the Rubbles versus Mr. Rogers.
It's Mr.
Well,
Rogers. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's Mr. Rogers.
Barney is always stealing Fred's pebbles. That's horse
That's not
shit.
true. Well, okay, yes, but I don't think those commercials are canon.
Okay, you
Are
guys
you
Uh,
saying
they-
they
they're-
haven't?
which Marvel universe are they canon in?
Are you saying they don't hang out with John Cena, John? Because
I went to this babysitter.
John
when
Cena
I was a
John.
kid. I went to this babysitter when I was a kid, and she had like probably 50 episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on like VHS. And her idea of watching us as like during summer was we could either go outside and play, or if it's raining, you have to sit inside and watch VHS tapes of Mr. Rogers over and over and over and over and over again. And this happened for like 2 years. So I was just about to hang myself at like age 6.
Well, that's the thing.
And-
That's the thing. Like, here's the thing on Mr. Rogers is that when you're really, really, really young, it's great. And then as you become like an older kid, when you start to creep more and more towards teenager, it becomes super lame immediately. But now that we've all matured into our
Final forms.
what some would call adult,
we've
now,
emerged from the chrysalis.
now that we've come out of our cocoons, Mr. Rogers is like heartwarming again in a way.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I think Mr. Rogers, where's his family, man?
He doesn't.
You guys-
We're his family. The whole world's his family.
No, we're his neighbors.
But like your neighbor in his world,
I'm not neighbors with
neighbors
my
like
I'm
family.
not family with my neighbors. I'm not neighbors with my family. Here's what I'm saying: Barney Rubble rules,
He
Betty
does-
Rubble rules, and Bam Bam
Bam
rules.
Bam. Something's up. All right.
That's a
Is the
family.
story-
Look,
Is the story there supposed to be that Bam Bam is like not Barney's kid?
no.
Because Bam Bam, where's he getting that strength from? Barney
Bam
ain't got
Bam,
that.
Barney in his early days when he went to his college was like a superstar athlete or something.
think?
And- yeah, no, he was. And like something happened and now he works at the
How
wrong.
does
got
Bam
to do
Bam
an
have
accent.
white hair?
Yeah, that's another thing. What's that white hair doing there?
Well, he
I-
fell into a vat of acid.
Yeah.
But hey, when I was young, I had like super bleach blonde hair. Neither one of my parents are blonde, so what's up?
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
I
ask
mean,
some
me too.
questions.
You know, like a half hour ago, you guys were like, "Oh, we gotta have the Rubbles on this list. We gotta have Betty and Barney on here. They're like
We have
iconic
to!
neighbors.
Yeah, they're great neighbors, but they don't match up against
Birdie
Mr.
Pebble. and
Oh my
Coco
God,
Pebble.
I'm a Mr. Rogers vote. Where's everyone else?
I'm a
Mr.
Rubble.
Rogers vote.
Mr. Rogers vote, but I will say Barney Rubble has the best laugh on this whole bracket.
It's true.
Jesse.
I'm a Mr. Rogers vote too.
Suck. Mr. Rogers knocks out the Rubbles 4-1. Ned Flanders versus Kimmy Gibbler.
This is a toughie.
Flanders. Ned Flanders, easy.
Ned Flanders easy.
What? No. Not that easy. Come on, guys.
Ned Flanders.
Turns out
easy.
it's that easy.
I don't give a shit about Kimmy Gibbler.
You give a shit about Ned Flanders?
Yes, I absolutely do.
The man's
Stupid
a
sassy
widower.
Flanders?
Is this the part where I tell
he is
people
a
that I've never seen
single
an
father
episode?
raising 2 boys.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Jesse just said.
Is this the part where I tell people I've never seen an episode of Full House?
See, here's the thing. Jesse's about to get voted off the show because he never watches anything ever.
Well, just here's the thing. Everywhere you look, there's a heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Gross.
And hold on to.
Hey, if I was lost out there all alone, what should I know about the situation?
Call up Kimmy Dog.
Fair enough.
I always, when I was young and watching Floss, I always thought Kimmy was the most annoying part of the show.
'Cause
That's
she
kind
is.
of the point. But
Whereas
she was
Ned-
always there.
You guys
always
really-
there for everybody.
You guys remember when
Joey is
Ned
the most annoying character on Full House. Joey is the fucking worst.
Are you talking
Kimmy
about?
Joey and
Gibbler.
Chandler?
Joey and Chandler are the worst part of Full House. I swear to God.
Ned Flanders is great. Ned Flanders is amazing. Do you remember the episode where Ned Flanders like lost it? Like he kept doing the diddly do stuff instead of like letting out his anger, and it like drove him crazy. He like stole Homer's car.
It's a good episode. I'm old as fuck, and both of these came out at the same time. So this is really hard for me. So you guys
Colin,
can
it's
vote
an
without me.
easy Kimmy Gibbler vote.
Ned
I'll be honest, I am leaning towards Kimmy Gibbler. So
I'm a Ned Flanders vote.
There it is.
There
Locked
we
up.
go. That's 3.
Dan,
all right.
Colin, you want to make it too?
Yeah, it's fine. I'll make Kimmy. Give Kimmy a vote.
You'll kill
I had a
that.
crush on her, so I'm down.
I wanted Frank and Marie on this bracket, and we didn't get them. So you know what? This is
'Cause
great.
they suck.
Dan, if you think our audience out there is begging to see Ray Romano like represented in bracket, I think you're missing the mark.
Ned Flanders knocks out Kimmy Gibbler 3-2. Last one in round 1, we have the Big Heads versus Wilson.
So Dan says he wanted Frank and Marie, but like we let him have one insistence, and he picked the big heads.
I did not pick the big heads.
That's exactly what you said.
That's not what I said at all.
Well, who did you force on the list? I don't remember.
It wasn't the Big Heads.
Who was it?
It was
It was the big heads because you're like the big heads deserve to be on this list. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No. I said I wanted
Okay.
either Mr. Dink
Okay.
or the Dinkelbergs on here, and then you were like, I mean, I guess we could have one, and then you
Okay.
cut it later.
Okay.
Hey guys, language.
Does this family have to fight?
Okay. So the Big Heads, great, like, bad neighbors to deal with. Like, Mr. Big Head is just like a jerk, and Mrs. Big Head is like, there's like a whole episode where she like comes on to Rocco because she's alone and unloved by Mr. Big Head.
Because that's all he does is work.
He works at Conglommo. They had a son who makes a cartoon about him.
Yeah.
They did? They have a son?
Yeah. That was
Did
the
not follow that.
best episode of the show.
Mr. Big Head says, "I have no son," and it's
I have no son. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember now.
Yeah, and they
Those guys-
basically,
Were they like serious chain smokers?
I think that's definitely the implication because Mrs. Big Head was like, "Oh, Rocco," and Mr. Big Head had like a Shakespearean
What
thing.
was she like?
That was pretty
Oh, Rocco, welcome to bracket.
That's the only time Skype stutter helps.
Do you remember that time that Miss Big Head welcomed Rocco on the bracket? That was a good episode.
And Mr. Big Head was all like, "Rocco, get off bracket." I don't know. I don't know if
Is
that's
that what he
right.
was like?
Can you repeat that?
No. You get one of those.
And then
But-
Heifer came into the mix. What did Heifer say?
look, we're dwelling
about
a lot on
Filbert,
the
John?
Big Heads. We're dwelling a lot on the Big Heads, but do we not remember that we didn't see Wilson's face for almost an entire show?
I still don't know what his face looks like. I don't want to
There
know.
you go.
Did they ever
I-
show his face?
I'm gonna
I
look it up.
assume-
I'm looking it up right
I
now.
assume he got into a terrible accident, and
Yeah,
like,
they showed his face at one point.
I don't want
I
to
think
know.
it was like at the last episode.
They would
don't
keep
wanna
coming up with ways to not show his face. was
There's a
the
whole
thing.
episode where they go into his house, and like he's got shit in his kitchen positioned in a way that hides his like the lower half of his face.
It's
Yeah,
great.
like that
We'll say
entire.
ABC right now has a sitcom on as the sort of quote unquote successor to Home Improvement with Tim Allen on it, They even had an episode where they had like Tim Allen's wife from Home Improvement on.
Yeah. They have all the people from the all the people from the show have come on,
Wait, is Jonathan Taylor Thomas there?
except for JTT. He doesn't.
Give me old
Ah.
JTT where he beat.
He don't act anymore.
He's the final piece of the Home Improvement weapon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
looking at
then
him.
then if you get JTT, then you form Exodia, and you get the Home Improvement.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is the 5th Infinity Gem.
I'm looking at Wilson. He's got such a big chin.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Please do not link it.
What
Don't.
if I? Oh, he died.
Put in the
in
show notes.
2003.
Yeah,
What? He died?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
died. Yeah. So
Well, the
sad.
big heads are dead too. So
That's true.
and again, I'm pretty old. Both of these were around at the same time. I'm gonna lean Wilson.
I'm Wilson as well.
It's
Hey, John.
kind of weird though how like your neighbor is the one fixing all your family problems, right? Like it's
I
kind of
Each of the family has a different problem. Like they were
I
always
always felt bad for Wilson, like because he lives alone, like, and he's
Well, you got to
obviously
come
a good
Thanksgiving
dude.
and Christmas.
he lives alone and he's spying on his
But like
neighbors.
he's obviously a good guy. He's filled with nothing but great advice. But like he never found anyone to live like. It's
You
like,
haven't
Without
watched enough.
question,
You
he's
haven't-
the better neighbor to have.
He lost his wife.
did he?
It's always the quiet
Yeah,
ones.
come on, man. Y'all didn't watch enough, man.
Oh,
I'm sorry that I didn't
wanna
care
go hang
for
out with
Home
Wilson.
Improvement very much.
Wait, Cullen, his wife
hey
died.
John,
Yeah, his wife died.
I want you
mean, she did not on
to
the
do a
show,
Mrs. Big Head voice, but do the.
Welcome
This is-
to Bracket.
I appreciate this. This is taking way too long, guys.
Yeah, where are votes?
I'm a
I'm,
Wilson
I'm,
vote.
a,
I feel
I'm,
so- I
I'm
feel too
also
bad
I'm
for
also
him.
a Wilson vote.
Dan?
I'm gonna go big heads.
All right.
Okay. I don't think there's a bad pick in this. Looks like Wilson knocks out the big heads 4-1. We're up into round 2 now, where we've got Oscar Kokoschka versus Cosmo Kramer, Mr. Feeney versus Chandler and Joey, Oscar the Grouch versus Mr. Rogers, Ned Flanders versus Wilson. So Oscar Kokoschka versus Cosmo Kramer.
Cosmo Kramer. Easy.
Basically the same guy.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
There's actually like a lot of similarities, but
But Oscar doesn't walk through a door like Cosmo.
I would say you're still dealing with more headaches with Oscar, whereas Kramer, Kramer, you get the occasional like. At least Kramer's a fun story to tell people at the bar or whatever. Like, but Kokoschka's, you're just like, I don't know if I should call social services or what.
Kramer almost killed a whale with a golf ball.
He's a whale murderer. Who is voting for Oscar?
I am.
Okay.
I'll vote Oscar.
Yeah.
The thing about Oscar for me is, I mean, yes, he's a headache to live next to. But what I like about Oscar is the fact that like they portray him as this he's kind of a really flawed character, but they still manage to pull off like you feel bad for him, you still care about him. And
He's
with
bumbling.
Kramer, he's fun, and I like Kramer a lot. But like,
Kramer's a dick.
Don't you
he's a
remember
punchline.
Don't you remember when Kramer and his mom were reunited finally? That's how we learned that his first name was Cosmo in the first place. There's heart to Kramer too.
I'm a Kramer vote. Colin, it's down to you.
Kramer, easy. Sorry. That was not even a question.
There you go. 2-3.
There we go. Cosmo Kramer knocks out Oscar Kokoschka 3-2. We got Mr. Feeney versus Chandler and Joey.
Mr. Feeney.
I'm voting Chandler and Joey. I really want to see a Friends versus Seinfeld in the semis.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
I really don't want to talk about Friends, so I'm a Feeney vote.
Greg is Dan McKenney metagaming this bracket.
Kinda.
The thing is, I feel like we didn't give Chandler and Joey their time and their due
We
and their
certainly
respect.
did not talk about them.
No.
I think because half of this place hates it. I love Chandler and Joey. Joey was an actual TV star, and you know what? He just rented a normal place next to his friends. He wasn't like super big on it. He was just like, it's a job, whatever. And then he got a.
He was on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, he was on and then he did like all these other movies and stuff. And then Chandler, he ended up marrying Monica. What is that?
I don't know what this has anything to do with whether they're like a better neighbor than Mr. Feeney. Mr. Feeney improves your life significantly.
Right, but there weren't two of them.
Yeah.
Who gives
Joey
a fucking
officiated the wedding too.
And what? Yes, he did. And let's say that
Mr. Feeney was there for Corey's wedding too.
Joey is
officiate it?
absolutely
I don't know.
Exactly.
hilarious.
I was too distracted by Topanga. She popping.
She is.
Chandler's
popping,
last
isn't
name
she?
is Bing.
Monica, also popping, dog.
Mr. Feeney's last name is Feeney.
I'd like Chandler a lot more if his last name were Google.
Go fuck yourself, Jesse.
I'm a Chandler and Joey vote.
Dan,
Mr.
it's down to you.
Mr. Feeney is the better neighbor.
These are my two like favorite things, with my third favorite thing being everybody.
I'm sorry. What?
Everybody.
Are you doing a Tim Allen?
Remember when we were making a podcast?
I am leaning, and I'm sorry, Chandler and Joey. I gotta go Mr. Feeney on this one.
Thank you.
Oh, you really don't want to see Friends vs. Seinfeld?
I have a love for Mr. Feeney that I don't have for Chandler and Joey. And to be honest, I think the women on Friends are better than Chandler and Joey and Ross.
Here's the thing that's messed up is that it's totally going to be Chandler and Joey are totally going to be Cullen and John.
Yep.
I don't know what that
100%
means.
true.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
100%.
I don't like Friends.
Yeah, thank
Which one of
No.
you gets
You
the-
better start.
Yeah.
Which one of you gets a bad spinoff?
I probably.
That sounds like something that would happen to me.
Which
That's
one of
true.
you would more likely carry a fork with him everywhere he went?
Cullen.
Mr. Feeney knocks out Chandler and Joey 3-2. We got Oscar the Grouch versus Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Man.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers is objectively the better neighbor to have.
I'm going to draw a hard line in the sand right now, and maybe some people are going to be insulted by it, but I think you're a villain if you vote against Mr. Rogers.
I think he's right, guys.
He's
This is
not
a
wrong.
real
Right.
tough second round.
Then let me be the villain. I'm an Oscar the Grouch vote.
Cullen doesn't like anything nice or fun.
I'm over it. I did
Cullen's
it.
like, I think Suicide Squad looks good. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
To be fair, Oscar the Grouch is like nice and fun. Like he's harmless. Oscar the Grouch he's grumpy, but you love him anyway. It's not like he's like scheming down there in the garbage. Like I can't wait to slit Big Bird's throat. Like
How badass would that be?
oh my god,
This
Mr.
is the
Rogers.
kind of show Cullen wants. John,
don't want
Jesse, Dan, Mr. Rogers votes?
Yes.
I'm an Oscar the Grouch vote.
Oh,
Oscar
Why?
the Grouch is always nice, no matter like he's
Yeah.
grumpy, but like he still is a nice
and Mr.
person.
Rogers isn't.
Yeah,
Like,
Mr. Rogers is a real asshole. Good job, Dan.
Mr.
One time he
Rogers
punched
hiding
that
something.
kid. He punched
Mr.
that
Rogers, Mr. Rogers fought Big Bird. Got into a fist fight with Big Bird
that's
once.
true.
How many people think of Mr. Rogers as a parental figure? How many people think of Oscar the Grouch as a parental figure?
It doesn't matter. He won. Let's move on.
All right, Mr. Rogers knocks out Oscar the Grouch 3-2. We've got Ned Flanders versus Wilson.
Oh,
Flanders.
boy. I think this is a super tough one, actually. I
Wilson is a knockoff Feeney. He's Feeney with less interaction.
Whoa! He was
Whoa.
before Feeney's time.
I don't know if that's
Yes, Home Improvement aired at least 2
Home
to 3
Improvement was
years
on in the
before
80s.
that. Yeah, don't
Okay.
try this shit. I'm old as hell. Don't.
I'm a
Mr.
Flanders.
Mr. Feeney
vote.
is a better Wilson, though.
I think they're so different, though. I feel
Yeah, I
like
don't think
Ow!
Feeney is a much more integral part of Boy Meets World and all the storylines that go on in there than Wilson. Wilson is like the epilogue that ties everything together.
I think you have a drastically overstated view of Feeney.
Feeney.
There we go. That's it.
Feeney
right
is
there.
available for goofs and for resolution, and that's about it. He very rarely factors into a plot line.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. At one point, Sean is like, I want you to fire my dad who became a janitor. And he's like, okay, I mean, if that's what you want. But then Sean realizes that like his dad loves his job.
Sean's dad talked like this. Well, Sean, I got the trailer to worry about.
Hey, Mr. Bighead's here.
I know, Miss Bighead and Sean's dad, like, eerily.
John's the impressionist tonight. That's
Yeah, it's crazy.
All that being said, I'm a Wilson vote.
I think I have to go Ned Flanders.
Jesse, Cullen.
I want to hear what Colin has to say.
too bad I'm making you pick because you've probably seen both of these.
I just.
Ned Flanders got that mustache.
You know what, Jesse? No, make this hard. I'm Wilson. If you're gonna fuck around like that, there you go.
Was Ned
All right,
Flanders the one who didn't Ned Flanders like start up a business for only left-handed people?
Yeah, the
Is that- was that-
leftatorium.
yeah,
Flanders is a worse neighbor than Wilson.
that's not true. Flanders
Wilson
does nothing
always
wrong.
helps.
Homer is the bad neighbor. Flanders is the good neighbor.
Flanders, you literally said in this episode that he stole Homer's car.
That's one episode. He had a nervous breakdown. It's a problem.
John,
It's not his
John,
fault.
Wilson never took Tim's car.
We don't know that. We don't know what.
Yeah,
we don't know.
we don't
Wilson
know.
gets like.
Exactly.
we do
Wilson
know.
could be
We
fucking
know
hiding
just-
bodies in there.
Imagine what
We
Wilson
know.
gets up to at night when the tool mans go to sleep.
The most
of these-
distinctive feature of Wilson is that he hides.
His shifty eyes, his bulging, shifty eyes, constantly
vote for
darting
Wilson.
side to side.
Both of these neighbors would be wonderful to live next to because they would be very good at cheering me up on a bad day. But I think I'd rather have Flanders cheer me up.
All right.
You're out of your mind.
That's a shame because Wilson's mega evolution, he has a fence that just wraps around his whole body like a cocoon.
That sounds pretty good.
Ned Flanders knocks out Wilson 3-2. We're to the semifinals now with Cosmo Kramer versus Mr. Feeney and Mr. Rogers versus Ned Flanders.
I don't
So
want to make any of these decisions.
Cosmo Kramer versus Mr. Feeney.
I
I'm
feel
a
like
Kramer
I'm a Kramer vote too.
No.
Kramer vote.
Oh! Oh my God! I didn't see that coming.
Yes, you did.
No, I swear to God, I thought it was gonna be Feeney and Rogers in the finals. Holy shit!
Anybody
All
who's
right.
listened to an episode of this show would know that Cullen would vote Kramer all the way. Die hard Kramer.
I thought for sure it would be me and Kramer, and then John would be on the fence, but it would inevitably go Feeney, and it'd be you and Jesse as Feeney. I thought for sure it was gonna be Feeney.
You're right. I was on the fence.
John, get back over the fence because it's not locked in yet.
Dan, it doesn't matter. We got 3 Kramer votes. I'll go Feeney with you, Dan, but it doesn't matter.
Jesse's a Feeny.
No, I said Kramer.
Jesse said
Yeah.
Kramer.
We already got 3 Kramer votes, man.
Oh
Guys,
man.
guys.
Look, stop. I think both of these are great, but there's
Yeah, Dan, I don't think
don't
they're
think-
making the wrong choice, Dan.
You had Janelle on like 3 goddamn times this season, and I'm coming in at the very end, and you're kicking off Feeny. You're gonna dunk Feeny in the toilet water. I know how this is gonna go.
Who said we're gonna dunk Feeney in the toilet?
I don't
water?
think Feeney gets dunked.
Well,
I'm
Wilson
locking
gets
it.
gently placed.
I'm locking this in. Holy shit!
Dan, I don't think they made a wrong call. Like it's
Dan, I'm
not.
sorry. I'm
Cosmo
sorry.
Kramer.
I just haven't seen Boy Meets World. What am I supposed to do?
Frank and Marie could have took this whole bracket.
Bullshit.
That's absolutely not true.
That's 2 votes it would not have in any round right there.
We got Cosmo Kramer knocking out Mr. Feeney 3-2. We got Mr. Rogers versus Ned Flanders.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Oh wow, because I was a Ned Flanders vote this time.
Ned is like a parody of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm so old and I'm so bored.
Dan?
I don't know what that means in relation.
Mr. Rogers, this is like
I don't think this fucking matters anymore because it's clear. Like my vote doesn't count. Fuck it.
Where is your
Three
vote?
against 2 every single round. I'll be a Flanders.
Okay.
I'm surprised. I thought Dan would be a hard Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers already won. Fuck it. I hate you.
Mr.
Dan, I
Rogers.
didn't do anything to you at all.
You voted Kramer over Feeney. That's what you did.
I
John
know.
did not.
I
He
went
voted
Feeney
Mr.
with you,
Feeney.
you jerk.
Everybody-
Mr. Rogers knocks out Ned
Dan
Flanders.
is an
3-2.
unrelenting monster. Dan doesn't care who he hurts. He just hurts everybody.
Hey, I just want to say that I love everyone here and I've had a good time. And
Jesse hasn't watched Boy Meets World, so we should just gang up on him.
That's
now.
true. Jesse's the real monster here. But
We've got in the bronze match, Mr. Feeney versus Ned Flanders.
They make left-handed toilets?
I don't-
Dan, where you at here?
I'm a Feeny vote.
I'm a Feeney vote.
I'm also a Feeney vote.
I'm
Yeah,
a Feeney
Feeney
vote.
Yeah.
That's the
Ow.
first sweep
Sweep.
of the match,
The
guys.
first sweep of the episode is the toilet water.
Because Ned Flanders sucks.
Wait, if Ned Flanders sucks, why did he get this far?
He doesn't suck.
Because he went against Wilson and Kimmy Gibbler.
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney knocks out Ned Flanders 5-0.
Okay.
So we have
Really scared about these finals.
Cosmo Kramer versus Mr. Rogers.
Colin's a
votes
Kramer
first.
vote. Hold on. Colin's a Kramer vote, right?
Maybe.
Colin,
Nope,
this whole episode you've been shitting on Mr. Rogers.
I like Mr. Rogers just fine. I'm
Oh my God.
That's so fucking boring.
Does anyone want to vote first?
I firmly believe that nobody in the world cared about other people more than Mr. Rogers.
I don't give a shit about that.
I
I want hilarious.
You heard it here, folks.
comedy.
Colin does not give a shit about empathy.
both
Look, I don't want. Look, if I'm living between, let's say I have a house and I'm living between Cosmo Kramer and Mr. Rogers, I'm gonna watch Cosmo do stupid shit, be funny as hell, and just watch him.
Yes, but if you have to
Forever.
call, but if you have to call someone to get you out to make bail for you, Cullen, you call Mr. Rogers, not Kramer.
No, it depends on what I did. I don't.
Kramer's not going to pick up because he accidentally ate his phone somehow.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to call Mr. Rogers for bail because then that's like your dad finding out like you
No.
went to jail for drunk in public. It's like, fuck, man, I'm so sorry.
Mr. Rogers does not pass judgment.
So he
If
wants
I
you to
was-
believe on screen.
If I moved to a new neighborhood and I lived and Mr. Rogers on one side and Kramer was on the other, Mr. Rogers would come over with like, "Hey, welcome to the neighborhood," and he's
I
got a
brought you
fresh batch
gift
of cookies,
basket. Yeah.
fresh back of homemade Thin Mints, and then
Oh.
Kramer would come over and
Hey,
eat
let
my
me
Thin
eat those
Mints
Thin
before-
Mints.
Yeah, before saying
No,
hi.
he would not ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me put it this way. Kramer had a set of gloves that he left in Jerry's car when Jerry's car got stolen. Kramer was able to get those gloves back. Mr. Rogers had something of his stolen, and he didn't even have to ask. They
And then
returned it to him because they found out.
And then
it
the
was-
Tailies showed up.
And then the Tailies showed up.
I'm sorry, guys. I understand your reason for Mr. Rogers, but it is boring. And
like, if you're looking at like who is more fun to hang out with, you're right. It's Kramer. But sometimes bad things happen in your life, and you need someone like Mr. Rogers to be a neighbor and help you. Like,
Yeah, best
I don't know.
TV
I like
neighbor.
to live my life a little more exciting than
I
going
will
home changing
never-
my shoes.
Okay,
Living next
I
to-
am a
living
next
Mr.
to-
Rogers
cardigan.
vote.
I'm
Cullen,
sorry.
are you a Kramer vote?
I'm definitely a Kramer vote. I don't care if he gets 4 to 1.
Jesse,
here.
where are you?
Living next to Mr. Rogers, I would never have to worry about forgetting how to tie my shoes.
Dan, where are you?
Mr. Rogers.
John,
it's Mr. Rogers.
it's Mr. Rogers, everybody.
In a boring upset,
It's
Mr.
not.
Rogers knocks out Cosmo Kramer 4 to 1.
You guys think Mr. Rogers down with the sickness?
Mr. Rogers knocks out Cosmo Kramer 4 to 1. We have Mr. Feeney in third place, and Ned Flanders is in fact dirty toilet water.
There you go.
I feel good.
Yeah, I'm okay with that turnout.
We made the right call, everybody.
See, I disagree, but that's okay. That's part of the show. Hey,
Hey, Mr. Rogers, come on the show.
he's dead.
Oh.
That's true.
Well, so is Kramer.
Yeah, in theory,
Wait a
yes.
minute.
His career is.
Boom!
Yeah. So Dan,
Hi.
you got words to say. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. Okay. Hi, my name's Dan McKinney. So we have a show called Rolling, which is a Dungeons and Dragons adventure starring Colin Jennings, John Ryan Abbott, Jesse Knowles, Greg L. Mercer, and Janelle Santa Cruz, and I am the dungeon master of that adventure. And you can find it at bracketpodcast.com/rolling or at rollingpodcast.com or in the podcast client of your choice. Just search for Rolling with an exclamation point. You might have to scroll a little bit because, boy, howdy, did we not think about, name stuff. I also produce a show called Brief Escape. It is an interview series with the people, projects, and communities inspired by video games. You can check that out at abriefescape.com. But yeah, check out Rolling because people like it.
It's a lot of fun to make.
Yeah, you guys have been a blast on it. We have a new adventure that's starting up, and also you can hop in anytime. The show is set up pretty so that way you can
Yeah, you ain't got to go back and catch up.
you just got to
on
force
stuff.
yourself in.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Just
Just force yourself in there.
Let me say that again, so you can jump in
Really
anytime.
cram on in.
All right, guys. Well, you can find us at bracketpodcast.com on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram as BracketCast. If you like, you can subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast client you use. Just search for Bracket. Leave us a review. I don't care if you do or don't. We got some good ones in, but
This week,
whatever.
I want people to go on to leave us a review,
No,
but I want you to say.
Instead of a real review, what we really want is we still want more videos of people flushing hot dogs down a toilet.
Yeah, how come we ain't got none of them yet?
I
We got
sent
one.
you. I
We got
flushed
one.
hot
That's
dogs.
true. Dan
We
done
got
flushed
one.
that darn hot dog.
Dan's putting in overtime.
And,
Here's
and
how it
I will
goes.
say this: thank you to the person who reviewed This American Life on the Bracket iTunes page. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
You got me with that one.
Beep, 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 beep. Time for the Patreon update. Bracket this week is brought to you by Nick Driver, Dane Peterson, John Jordan, Kevin Fitzgerald, Jeff Criswell, Brandon, Lindsay, Mitch Albright, Will Kusleka, Kayla Smith, Anarchy Marie, Brandon Cranford, and Michael Zavala.
That's gonna save me so much time. You don't even know.
Boom, done.
I
Beautiful.
hate having to do that.
Doing
Beautiful.
a professional radio show on the internet.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Jesus.
See you turds next week.
Bye, turd.
Oh, God.
Doing a professional radio show on the internet.